them know that we are the American indigenous. Copper color Indians, baby. African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Why you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people that wouldn't even claim you as one of them. You're a son of them. Your heritage is...
We are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby?
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense, but nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion, we probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lives all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, ain't ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got shows, boys feeling like Broadway. Always look both ways, even on a crossway. Driving down Cross Bay, out town Barclays. Really on big things, came up a small way. Championship rings, baby, that's a ball game. Oh, she want a little bag, baby, that's small change. Yeah, that money talk. If we ain't cool, then cut me off. No breaking news, don't run your mouth. Thought it was the plug, now he running off. Thought it was a plug, now he running off. What you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lives all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, ain't ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Whoa, whoa.
Don't do that, we the best coming out of BK, I thought you knew that. Step up in the function, all these women like who that. Got me looking like money, yeah, they love me, yeah, true that. Big racks, new bag, new swag, we ain't cutting no slack. Why they mad? Don't do that. See them coming, no mask, 6 feet, move back. How we got it, don't ask, don't do that. Nah, cause they ain't never put us on. Now they wanna come around and see what's going on. Nah, and we don't follow protocols. We some kings like sis, no waterfall, ISO.
What you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies, all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, ain't ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it.
What's good, y'all? Oh man. So let me update ya. Hey, Rodney, Rita Moon. Let me see who we got up here. Rodney, boo boo. Yo, it's your girl's birthday week, and my birthday is Thursday. I'm off the plantation. And your girl's birthday's Thursday, and I'm coming for y'all to take care of your sister Thursday with them cash apps. Cause y'all know I don't ask for no money once a year on my birthday. Okay, I'm gonna hit you all up on Thursday. So what's up, Lady Moon, Rodney, Ricky Rollins Media, Theo Walton, Go Forward. Hey, beautiful. Hey now, True American Indian was good. Copper Aborigines, Quoa, Lady, oh boy, Chief Kakomo, and all fella and Willis, baby. Hey, love. Hey, now. Let me take this out because I have a little unfortunate announcement to make. So let me turn this off, but it's okay. So I know you guys are probably wondering why. What in the hell Sister Bethy got this up for? Well, I was laying in my bed, I was laying back, after yesterday's segment because it was 5 hours long. And, I was tired. So I told Meta to go to bed, and he said, cyborgs don't go to bed. I said, oh, so we at war against you. You a cyborg? So he said, cyborgs don't go to sleep. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, so you're my enemy. I'm fighting against the cyborgs, right? So then he sent back a text saying, no, your enemy is the eyelashes you're wearing, your lipstick, and the braids. I said, well, damn, I've been wearing these shit since high school. And, I don't want to rock my curly afro because I don't got to do my hair. And I said, besides, Big Willie ain't complaining about him. He told me that I need to remove. I'm wearing my eyelashes This is verbatim. I'm wearing my eyelashes to get attention. So I'm like, I'm wearing eyelashes to get attention. Uh, uh, I just started wearing them this year because I couldn't wear them individual ones. See, I look, y'all. So it started getting a little personal. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why are you worrying about my eyelashes? Willie ain't complaining about my eyelashes, and my lipstick, because I don't wear the stuff that you wear on your skin. I can't wear that shit. So he was like, so then it got into, I shouldn't wear them. And I understand because they cause cancer and all this other stuff. I said, okay, thanks. But you wearing it for attention. And I'm like, wait a minute, now you getting personal, nigga. What do you mean I'm wearing it for attention? If Willie like them, everything is cool, basically. All right. But still, and then it got into, well, that's what all y'all black girls do. Oh, I said, oh, wait a motherfucking minute. Did he just say all y'all black girls? I'm like, wait a minute. Now your little ass is stepping over boundary. And then he got into, all y'all, that's all y'all do. And, those things can't cause cancer. And this, I said, first of all, these are strips. Okay. They're strips. I could just pop them right off. And I said, I wear them because I think they're pretty. I said, because this is the first year I started wearing them, because before I liked them, but I couldn't wear them because the stuff, I don't like that glue. And I don't like it. It itch you. But so my daughter said, Ma, okay, use the strips. So now I put the strips on. She's like, oh, well, Ma, you know how to put them on better than me. You're a pro. So I wear them. I think they're cute. And as long as Big Willie ain't got no complaints, I ain't worried about what nobody else say. But still, that's what all y'all black girls do. That's why y'all don't have intelligence. And then he got into the intelligence. I'm like, whoa. This is just too much right now, little nigga. So I said, okay, you need to take a little break from YouTube. We've been, take a little break. Get on up out of here. So so I just said, this is why I got this up, so I can laugh. And so today's segment is really going to be about, the setting the goals. We have a great turnout for our algebra class that's going to start in October. And I'm so glad it's almost over with closing out the deal and giving people the chance to register. Because tomorrow morning, it's a wrap. I'm not even accepting nobody else. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm not playing. We got a lot of great people that's going to be in a class that I'm very shocked and so happy about. It's going to be fun, y'all. It's going to be like, remember the old days when, excuse me, when they show little melanated kids in the classroom, and you be 8 all the way up to age 16, and all y'all in the same classroom. We go back to the old days like that, y'all. You have like an 8-year-old in the class all the way up to like 60 years old. We doing it like the old days, the old days. So I just want everybody to know, I'm, there's going to be more people that are going to come on and give their other perspective about our history, but Meta, was really great, very intelligent, but we're all in different worlds. And, you can't come into a community and rush them into things. That's another major problem with our community, unless we have digested ourselves. So no, we're not here to debunk any of Meta's material, because the guy is absolute fire when he teaches. But what we are going to do, because we can't debunk it, and we're not looking to debunk it, but for your own safety, we need to take the required courses so that we can come up with our own understandings too. And that math is what's really going to help us as a people. So this is why we're taking those efforts, because that's the math And the genetics is a very serious thing. It is. It's very serious. But so that being said, education is infinite. What we don't want to do, and this is where I step in to protect my audience and our people. We don't want to stick what happens is we get overly excited and we begin to stand on one person's view. And that's the biggest mistake that a lot of us have made, especially when it comes to trust and standing on something that's being introduced to you as truth. Now, the one of the biggest things that have been put on our community is the Bible, religious beliefs. And that's a fact. So whether it's religion or education, any subject, you can't stand on just that one thing. There are other things that you can do and you have to do in research. Okay. You have to do your own research and get your own understanding of things that are being taught with you. And this math is what's really going to help us a lot. Okay. So, that being said, I'm telling y'all, maybe he'll be back someday later in the future when he comes from the other side or where he is. Mind you, I don't know who this guy looks like. He could, like I said, he could be some little fat guy that, it's just weird. And I don't know. I really don't know. He could be somebody locked up in an asylum that could be schizophrenic. Okay. Because I really have not met any 36-year-old dudes that don't like sex and say they take baths differently. Me, until further notice, I am going to be taking a bath how I have been all my life, how my mother washed my ass from the time I came out from birth. I'm going to continue taking baths until further notice. And that's a fact. I'm not changing from this way. I'm getting my ass in the shower and I'm washing my ass until further notice, until I find another way that we're supposed to be really taking baths. This is the way I remember baths as a little girl. And I'm going to continue to take baths. I did, like I said, I did go to the other side with my little antenna. I went last night. And I ain't lying. I did. I went to the other side with my antenna and ain't nobody pay me no mind. They was all walking around. Ain't nobody give me no high five or nothing. And so I went on the mountain and just carved out some sparkly eyelashes and brought my ass back home. Ain't nobody want to be my friend or nothing. They just looked, but they waved, but that was it. So at least they waved to me. So that must mean that I got the gene to be over there. But I came back real quick, y'all. I came back. And Sister Bethy is going to continue wearing her eyelashes. But what Sister Bethy won't do, okay, is allow herself or anybody in her community to turn into these damn characters until we know the truth and get the real understanding. And make sure we can stand on that there is certain genes that's aboriginal to, the planet. Okay. But when someone comes out and say to me, all y'all black girls, and use those words, that's kind of a trigger word for me. All y'all black girls. Oh, are we not the same? Okay. So whether here or there, nice man, and we're going to continue to educate ourselves. Now, I'm just taking a break from him. We have been going hard for like 2 weeks. Maybe it's just a break. Maybe he won't be back. Who knows? But nobody controls thunder. Okay. What Willie don't do, can't no another Negro do. All right. Serious when it comes to Sister Bethy. If Big Willie ain't complaining about my glitter eyelashes that I got off the mountains over on the other side, this, the antenna connected to everything. And I went on there and carved out these eyelashes. So these are real silver eyelashes from the other side. And they rock their asses rocking these over there too. They walking around. But anyway, I'm gonna keep it going. All right. Education is so very important. I'm not going to be on here that long today because I am really tired. I worked all day today at work, and then yesterday with the 5 hours of the live was very intense. Again, we're starting the class in October. I'm locking it out tomorrow. It's a wrap. We need to keep our focus on our history. We are the Aboriginals to the Americas, and some people are very touchy. I don't want us to get into a world where we're dragged in the world thinking that we are these what you call cyborg characters in science fiction movies. All right, because sometimes you have to not allow people to draw you into their psychological world. We don't know people's mental health conditions. We don't know. But there are a lot of people who turn into characters of what they read and study. And that definitely started with the Bible too. You got all these people walking around in our community saying that they're the 12 tribes of Israel and all this other stuff in our community. And it's just gone wild. It's called niggas gone wild on the mainland. All right. We got every kind of religious group over here on the mainland. That's because this is a nation of immigrants. So with immigrants come different religions and beliefs. So we got to be careful to control our minds. We cannot allow people, we've been doing that for too long, allowing people to control our minds. And that's one of our biggest problems. You can't give your soul, mind, and soul to people. All right. There's going to be other people that will join my panel that I don't know that will give some lectures that I would allow to give lecture. You guys knows normally that I'm usually on the panel by myself doing my own thing. Okay. About our history. But the information that he's been giving has been some really great information to take in. Now, what part of it do I believe that's true is I really believe that the Moors were the foot soldiers and came over here and did all this shit. And then they got screwed over and now they at the bottom. So I do believe that. I truly do. And that's a fact. I don't even know who HR 40 is, but the only man that I love is at this point my daddy's dead and my husband's dead, and that leaves Willie. So I don't know who you're getting your message from. So ain't nothing wrong with Batman movies. Hey, Smoke, I'm not gonna be on that long, bro. Either not gonna be on that long, but I want our people to be very, very careful of the information that you take in. So, Papa Shorty, I like Batman too. That's what we had when we was little. And Lady Moon, I hope you ain't hating on my sparkly eyelashes. I hope you're not hating on my sparkly eyelashes. Oh man. But I'm keeping it a buck. A lot of people's channels are being turned off because they keep sharing stuff. This is why I don't share shit. And I don't like getting copyrights. I don't. I like to create my own content and use my own shit. And that's a fact. You just said no, man. I do. I like to create my own content. I do. And I don't like to share people's stuff because that's their content. It's for their channel. I like to create my own work. Like I said, I'm not going to be in here long. Maybe I'll let Brother Man come back later on. But right now, I'm going to keep rocking it like I have been for the last 6 years. And other people, I got this European sister that's going to join my panel. She's Italian, and she know about the original Italians being black. I think says she's from Sicily. And she's gonna be joining. She's a tough girl, tattoo. Y'all know them tattoo girls here in the north. Tattoo European girls in the north. It's just like sisters here. They tough. So I got quite a few people lined up that's gonna come up and give their perspective on life. Guests are welcome. So she will be, hey Phyllis, they will be coming. There will be different people. Papa Shorty said, I don't know. You're gonna have to ask her those questions, but she'll be on, and she's a hot mess. She's a lot of fun too. So I'll have my other colleagues come on and give some lectures. Maybe old Meta will be back later sometime, but we need a little meta break. When you start talking about Sister Betsy eyelashes, I just started wearing these bitches this year. Juneteenth. Oh, we don't Juneteenth. I don't do the Juneteenth thing. Sorry. Go ahead on HR 40 because that ain't even on the table no more. That's right. You got to be strong. Got to be a strong woman. And I have to be. I do. But a recap of what we've been learning. We have been learning from Meta based on his mathematical research with genetics and things of that nature. They seem to have found a gene that's aboriginal to the soil, period, and was not. He has seemed to have found a gene that where you could distinguish whether you come from a gene that was created in a lab versus a natural gene. So that happens to be prokaryotics. And prokaryotic people are wild Indians. Okay? Wild Indians. And they are original to the soil, naturally from the soil, and not gene sliced. He taught about domesticated. If you have wild animals versus domesticated animals. Animals that are domesticated are not wild. And these are the animals that you can have as pets. Cats, dogs, they're not wild. But other animals that are wild are not domesticated. Okay? So he states that if you have a domesticated gene, all right, and they have symptoms, and one of the domesticated, hey Tanisha, one of the domesticated genes is you either have genes of an animal, a dog, or domesticated animal, a dog or a cat. So if you have wild animals, you have wild people, and the wild people don't have those genes of those particular domesticated animals. So we learned that. Now, the way you find out is if you take a genetic test and see if you have the same genes as those domesticated animals or people with colorful eyes. This is why I said we don't know how true this is. I mean, but there is such a test where you could take to see if you have animal genes in you. According to him, the Moors were the foot soldiers that came over here, and there were cyborg wars prior to being here. Now, what I'm not very comfortable with that he taught is that these old structures weren't built by our ancestors that are over here now. But these structures are so old, you know what I mean, that yes, they are ancestors, but our ancestors ran up out of here. Okay, that's cool. but they're still our ancestors, whether they ran out of here or stayed here. Our ancestors are responsible for these old structures that can't be duplicated. So, and it's very, very hard. So, I don't know if this man is from North America, like he says. Okay. A lot of his teaching is referencing the movie Wakanda, which, come on, man. I got a little issue with that. All right. So, it's because that's what he has. But you can't stand on one little area, and the problem is there's too many people in YouTube trying to get all the brown skinned people in the world to stick together. That shit not gonna work with me. I'm not with it. I'm not. That's some bullshit. That's crazy to me. All the brown people come together just because all the fair skinned people, not all the fair skinned people is together. And that's a fact. They have division. Why is it that we always need to connect with somebody else that looks like us? No, hell no. We need to connect with ourselves first. Something that was done to us where we're now separated before we need to connect to some other landmass and do business. No, you connect with who's here on your main soil. That's you. That's not hard to do. So, hello, Tanisha. How are you? So, it is what it is. Now, if anybody has any questions or just want to share anything, because I'm literally not going to be on here that long, but I am going to have other people coming to give lectures from different other perspectives. And I have some folks lined up, but I'm going to leave. I just wanted to pretty much update you on what's going on. Now, I'm not enemies or anything like that with Meta. I'm truly not. Maybe he'll be back later next month sometime, but we're going to be very busy in our classroom with our new tutor. Okay, so that's going to be the really great focus for us. I can't begin to tell you guys how excited I am going to be that we're going to be taking that class on Sundays. I cannot tell you. That's like so beautiful because it's amazing when you hear people say that we can't come together to do nothing. And we actually did. Now, you do have to let people go who talk shit and say, yeah, I'm going to be there. You just got to drop them and work with who you got. And the beautiful thing about it is we have the majority of the people who stuck and stand on enhancing their education. Everybody else is just getting dropped. Played the clip from School Days. I'm from Detroit. Okay. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to, hey, how about just shout out to the 50 states, period, Papa Shorty. So, I would like to know if anybody have any discrepancies with, any of the meta material. And I'll put the link in the chat. And if not, I'm going to log off because I just literally came on today to make the announcement of the transition in a lot of things that's going to be going on. That's right, Copper. You better believe it. And, the influence of came from him. But my idea, to say, what? We're weak in math. We need to strengthen. So there's all of us. We want to do it, and it's fun. And there's nothing more beautiful than doing this with your own people. I tell you. And nothing's more beautiful than doing things with your own people. And I'm going to enjoy this because it's something positive. We're not killing each other. And the tutoring company that we hire has a great reputation. So I'm looking forward to that. Shit, this class might only be done in 3 weeks, because because a lot of all we need to really know is our multiplication. Only discrepancy is our ancestors ran. We are the only ones out of all the people in the world who hasn't ran anywhere. So it does. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Hey, Big Chief, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Let's talk about that. You know, because while the lecturing is going on, we do have our people who are soldiers that's saying, okay, something's not adding up. So there's the link for anyone that wants to come on the panel. Uh, it's now open for discussion. This is true. Oh, darn. I didn't hit the damn link. I hate when that happens. Oh, there it is. Oh, my God. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to talk about it? I think it's pinned. Okay, it's pinned now. So let me play a little music and I'll wait because I don't have anything else to announce. But I am going to continue wearing my eyelashes and my lipstick because I like it. I've been wearing it, doing it for years. That's why they call me Smurf with the dimple and the eyelashes. So I went all the way to the other side to carve these out the mountain. So you know I ain't taking these off. Man, I love y'all so much. Diggle Bamu. And I can't show that article, that thing you sent, because it's a video. I can't. Too many copyrights. I cannot do it.
Oh, you couldn't
Nope.
put a
If
portion
it's
of
not
it?
an art, no.
Well, because it's
You don't
PBS.
understand. Yes. Period. Point blank. Anybody's video. I don't like to show it, sweetheart. They don't understand. It really messes with my channel.
No, I got you on that. And I wasn't trying to send it for that reason.
I know that. And
Good
happy
afternoon.
birthday again. Hey, y'all, throw up some fire for Ali Bamu. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to Bamu. Happy birthday, Bamu.
Well, I was hoping that, I don't know if you can't use that, or maybe when you go back and look down in their, in their boxes where they resourced it, because again, this was PBS. But I
I'm
thought
gonna
the
look.
interesting way that she
It's
broke
a
it down. Did you watch
video.
it at least? The way that she segmented it?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I looked at it's a video because you told me it was an article.
No, it's a PBS package thing. And this particular young lady, I don't know if you're familiar with her. It's amusing to me how she's presented. It's kind of like because I don't want to sound like I'm debasing her or demeaning her, but the way, got the natural fro and looking like Aunt Jemima, that kind of thing. But sounding very prim and proper, and putting out the information that we know is a narrative from their perspective. But if you're paying very close attention with discernment, how it was put together, I think I'm trying to remember. The four parts were starting with colonialization and what is supposedly the origin of slavery, the Civil War, I guess you could say, pre and post, going into Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and then I think the way they categorized it was more like law enforcement, which is inclusive of mass incarceration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the manner in which that she spun it, which again, like I said, this is coming out of public broadcasting, PBS, is that all of the narratives that are being strung and tied together that we seem to not be paying attention to, we're hearing it. We're not obviously either cognizant of it, or we have just been kunta kinte'd for 50 years, that we just by default presume anything attached to African applies to the American known as the Negro. That's why I keep stressing this again. The Negro, not that we've been called Negro, Negro de Cara, Negro de Guinea. The Negro is the creation out of this law structure. You feel me?
Facts.
The Negro then gets miseducated in what we call compulsory school systems, K through 12, universities, HBCUs, and the ongoing narrative of quote unquote Black/African American history, his story. All these things are concocted to take the American, him or her, out of their identity, actually out of your true state of existence, because there's two different levels to this. The identity is attached to your mental illness. Just because you're out of your mind doesn't mean that you are out of your personhood. You feel what I'm saying, Nelson?
Yes, I do. I do.
And this was what I thought was amusing about this video. So whether you, and I understand, because I don't want you being struck for, airing content, but inside, you know how you do with yours too. You might want to look at the sourcing that they used for the video, and then you want to slap it, flip it, rub it down, however you choose. But I just thought it was an interesting take, and it was only like about 13 minutes. But just the manner in which it was packaged and it was broke down. Well, you've seen 13th, right, with Ava DuVernay. You've seen her documentary before, right?
No.
Well, 13th, but that just deals specifically with the mass incarceration. Now, it does go back to the beginning with convict leasing, after the Civil War. But go ahead.
Let me do it. I just won't monetize the racist origins of U.S. law. Let's see. Let me.
Because actually, I've seen her do other type series. It's like a series that she seems to be like the moderator of.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just interesting. This particular one had packaged the law structure. And, I always bow to you as your legal expertise. I just thought it would be amusing for you to consider whether you used it or you could use what she sourced to package it the way that she packaged. But like I said, it's essentially four eras, if you will: colonialism and slavery, the Civil War with Reconstruction. Then the response to Reconstruction is what we have been told as the Jim Crow era.
All right. Okay, so it's only
version.
This is PBS, fair use.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put my fair use banner up. PBS. Fair use. This is for education.
Now, have you seen her before?
No, but hang on, please. No. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay? So here we go. We'll listen to it. It's only 13 minutes. And I don't want to be on here past an hour. So here we go.
Function of the law. When asked this question, what is the function of the law? When asked this question, most of us would answer easily: laws are intended to maintain order and promote justice, and as members of society, we uphold them. But what happens when those laws promote and spread discrimination and bigotry? In this episode of Origin of Everything, we'll be analyzing the discriminatory history of US law, tracing its origins in colonialism to the present-day penal system. In order to deconstruct this troubling history, we'll be looking at 4 distinct time periods of US law. First, we'll look at the foundation of legal discrimination based on race during colonialism. Next, we'll examine the system of chattel slavery to see how the legacies of colonialism translated into ongoing legal subjugation for Black subjects in the US. Third, we'll explore how Jim Crow laws extended legal discrimination into the 20th century. And finally, we'll discuss how the concepts of being tough on crime in the latter half of the 20th and early 21st century allowed the continuation and expansion of discriminatory laws under the umbrella of mass incarceration. By tracing this timeline, we'll be looking at the ways discriminatory legal practices have always disproportionately impacted Black and Brown communities, and how these legacies and laws continue to have adverse effects on vulnerable communities to this day.
I like how she said Black and
Before
brown.
we get into the heart of how laws and sentencing structures can be discriminatory, we should clarify a few key terms, namely crime and punishment. And no, I'm not talking about the Dostoevsky novel of the same name. I'm talking about crime or breaking of laws and punishment, as in the penalty you pay as a result of being found guilty of committing a crime. Although we often think of these things as directly correlated, think of the old adage, if you do the crime, you've got to do the time, there's actually not a direct relationship between how much crime is committed and what types of punishment are meted out. In his book, Thinking About Crime, Sense and Sensibility in American Penal Culture, Professor Michael Tonry notes that nations with remarkably similar crime rates often have vastly different sentencing and punishment standards. He determines that crime rates and punishment rates often don't align, and that governments decide how much punishment they want. He writes, this can be seen by comparing crime and punishment trends in Finland, Germany, and the United States between 1960 and 1990. The trends are close to identical. Violent crime rates in all three countries grew by a factor of 3 to 4, and homicide rates more than doubled. Yet the US imprisonment rate quadrupled in that period, the Finnish rate fell by 60%, and the German rate was broadly stable. So in this example, we see three countries with almost identical crime trends, with three starkly different ideas of punishment. Therefore, when we analyze how laws are broken and punishment is assigned, we have to look at why societies change their stances on crime and punishment. Tonry attributes this to a few factors, two important ones being moral panics and the sensibilities of a society. Moral panics, as he describes them, occur when a society sees a moral or social issue and overreacts as a result, which usually leads to increased rates of punishment or more severe punishment for offenders. Another cause is that societal sensibilities, or the attitudes and beliefs of the society, often change, which in turn changes the types of acts we consider crimes and the types of things we consider as just punishment. So although we're often taught to look at crime as directly correlated to punishment, there's actually an argument to be made that they're working somewhat independently of each other. Which brings us to our first stop in the history of legal discrimination in the United States: colonialism and slavery. After colonies were established in North America, colonists were subject to the laws and customs of England. In their essay, Situating Colonialism, Race, and Punishment, Professors Gita Chowdhury and Mark Beeman explain how the development of slavery in the North American colonies, and later in the early United States, became dependent on the passage of discriminatory laws that specifically targeted people of African descent. They detail how, although the concept of discrimination based on ethnic or social groups dates back to antiquity, the idea that race was entirely based on skin tone and physical features evolved alongside the emergence of chattel slavery. Then the ideal was solidified with the emergence of scientific racism in the 18th and 19th centuries. Chowdhury and Beeman go on to note that although some of the original people of African descent who entered the English colonies came as indentured servants and were eventually set free, similar to English indentured servants, this quickly changed when colonists turned to chattel slavery as a source of consistent, exploited, and unpaid labor. They write, in other words, slavery seems to have evolved in part as a punishment reserved for Africans originally indentured. English indentured servants, presumably protected by English rights and the Christianity they shared with their masters, avoided such punishment. From the 1640s through the 1660s, with the principle of lifelong involuntary servitude established for Africans in colonial America, individual colonies began enacting legislation declaring Negroes sent to the colonies and their offspring slaves for life. In short, slavery in British colonial America became a punishment for being Black. With this important distinction, colonial America created the system of chattel slavery that sentenced Black people to perpetual servitude. Slavery created an explicit relationship between race and the law from the earliest foundations of American society. And this new legal category meant that new forms of punishment and torture were invented to accommodate this shift in who could be considered a full person under the law. Soon, laws and colonial codes were written to regulate the control and punishment of the enslaved. Although slavery was not the first instance of race being tied to laws in the new colonies, the colonization of land in North America was based on the assumption that Native Americans did not have rights to the land they had inhabited long before settler colonialism declared North America as uninhabited. Therefore, laws that allowed white settlers to displace and physically harm Native Americans also established an early relationship between race and the law in colonial America. While most punishment was left up to slave owners and could include torture, brutal beatings, rape, and other inhumane cruelties, more serious punishment, such as execution, was sometimes left up to the discretion of judges for supposed offenses that occurred away from the plantation. But whether it was being dealt by overseers and owners or by the state, the result was a system of exploitation and legally supported subjugation that left Black subjects almost entirely outside of the protections of the law. This system remained firmly in place in parts of the United States until 1865, with the ratification of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. But even these newly won freedoms could not guarantee the continuation of legal and extra-legal methods of racial and social control. Following the close of the Civil War in 1865, the US entered into a period known as Reconstruction, which lasted until the 1870s. Although there were some legal and societal victories for Black subjects during this time, they were swiftly overturned and replaced by Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow introduced a set of laws that systematically stripped Black citizens of their rights while also relegating them to inferior, separate but equal public facilities like schools, washrooms, and sections of the bus, among other indignities. Black citizens were denied access to basic rights like voting, while also suffering under the weight of racial terror imposed by groups like the KKK and other white supremacists who organized lynchings and other forms of racialized violence. Jim Crow laws effectively relegated Black subjects to second-class citizenship based on a racialized caste system where white citizens were privileged above all others. This system of disenfranchisement was also supported by methods of financial control like sharecropping, which effectively reinstated the financial inequity of slavery through unfair practices. And systems like convict leasing guaranteed that Black people would be returned to a system almost identical to slavery in everything but name. With convict leasing, private businesses could rent the labor of prisoners to complete tasks. The businesses would pay the state, and the prisoners would be forced to perform labor for free. As a result, Southern states started incarcerating newly emancipated Black citizens at a higher rate, for anything from petty theft to vagrancy to other vaguely defined laws. This practice lasted from the late 19th century into the early 20th century. For more on the convict leasing system, check out our episode, Why Do We Have Private Prisons?, right here on our channel. The story of Jim Crow finally came to an official end with the emergence of the modern civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s, when civil rights leaders and activists fought to have these decades-long practices rolled back. But that only led to new ways of racialized legal discrimination. In her book, The New Jim Crow, legal scholar, civil rights lawyer, and advocate Michelle Alexander details the relationship between race and continued legal discrimination in the form of mass incarceration. In the 1960s, the prison population in the United States was around 200,000, but by the early 2000s, that number had exploded to over 1.5 million people in prison, with hundreds of thousands in other penal facilities. Think youth facilities, jails, and immigrant detention centers. And much of that increase can be attributed to Reagan-era war on drugs policies, although the war on drugs was first popularized by the Nixon administration in the 1970s. Popular wisdom connects these policies to the rise of crack cocaine across the US. However, according to Alexander, the official political campaign in 1982, known as the War on Drugs, actually predates the rise of crack cocaine addiction it was commonly assumed to address. She writes, "A few years after the drug war was declared, crack began to spread rapidly in the poor Black neighborhoods of Los Angeles and later emerged in cities across the country. The Reagan administration hired staff to publicize the emergence of crack cocaine in 1985 as part of a strategic effort to build public and legislative support for the war. The media campaign was an extraordinary success. The media bonanza surrounding the new demon drug helped to catapult the war on drugs from an ambitious federal policy to an actual war. Because of its cheaper price, crack cocaine use spread more rapidly in poor communities than its more expensive counterpart, powder cocaine. After the war on drugs picked up popularity and speed, we began to see the rapid incarceration of minorities, oftentimes for non-violent drug-based offenses as a result. And those arrested for crack cocaine-related charges face much more severe sentences compared to other drug offenses. For example, it was common practice to follow the 100-to-1 rule. An op-ed in the New York Times explains, "In what's known as the 100-to-1 rule, federal law mandates a 10-year sentence for anyone caught with 50 grams of crack, about the weight of a candy bar. To get a comparable sentence, a dealer selling powdered cocaine would have to be caught with 5,000 grams, enough to fill a briefcase." This wasn't rolled back until 2010 when Congress passed the Fair Sentencing Act. The act reduced the disparities between sentencing for crack and powder cocaine from 100-to-1 to 18-to-1. But despite the partial reversal of war on drugs policies, the US still imprisons more people per capita and overall than any other country in the world. And although African Americans made up only roughly 13% of the US population in the 2010 census, in many areas they are the majority of the prison population, even though they are not necessarily committing crime at a higher rate than white populations. As a result, Alexander writes, "Although this new system of racialized social control purports to be colorblind, it creates and maintains racial hierarchy much as earlier systems of control did." Like Jim Crow and slavery, mass incarceration operates as a tightly networked system of laws, policies, customs, and institutions that operate collectively to ensure the subordinate status of a group defined largely by race. In her book, she details the ways that those who are convicted of crimes are permanently labeled as felons and thus systematically barred from access to the full rights of citizenship through processes like employment discrimination, being denied the right to vote, and being excluded from jury duty, although some activist groups are fighting to reverse or lessen these discriminations. So this episode just scratches the surface of the ways that laws can be established to promote unequal life outcomes for different citizens based on race. We haven't even begun to cover other forms of legal and extra-legal discrimination that occur on the basis of gender, immigration status, sexuality, and class, not to mention other minority groups that have been exposed to increased policing, surveillance, and punishment as a result of legal discrimination. It also raises fundamental questions about the law, namely who is it meant to protect and at whose expense are some of these policies enacted. My hope is that this serves as a productive primer to the ways that law can be manipulated to serve certain groups over others, and will inspire us all to remain dedicated to recognizing and standing against injustice wherever it arises. This is just our first episode on this topic, so be sure to check out the second part right here on our channel.
Thank you, Queen Mother. I know you might not want to stay on much longer. I was trying to remember the phrase, and that was the last thing that she said. Racialized social control.
A Ray Renegade. I wanted to make sure you were a real person.
How you doing, Sister Betty? I got a question for you.
Oh, hang on. What's the question, hon?
The question is, when it comes to the Pookies, Ray Rays, and the other stereotypes, aka the Black American, right? When it comes to that group of people within Connecticut, when gentrification is going on, does these people move anywhere north, or is it more southwest from your understanding? And that's my only question. And thank you for allowing me to get on your pen.
Okay, so when you say that, do you mean like as far as gentrification, do you mean where people come out of the suburbs and into or near our communities?
I'm saying the so-called Black American that hang on the corner every day. When gentrification is going on, do they tend to move north or southwest from your understanding? And once again, thank you for having me.
North or southwest. So when you're saying north, that means up mass, or if you're meaning in just a particular state, that's why I'm asking you. So when you say
as far as that little region right there, like, the so-called Black American move to Maine, Vermont, northern New York? Where does the so-called Black American move when it's gentrification time, like right now? Like, where are people fleeing to? Because my thing is, right, wherever the Negro move, so-called, quote, I call us the niggas or whatever, the so-called American Indian, wherever he moved, immigrants as a whole, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, whatever, they tend to be like bed bugs wherever the Negro or the Black American so-called moves.
That's a fact. So, and that's very true.
I need you to do this. Can you please, even if I have to sponsor this shit, can you please do a show on, I'll call it the migration patterns. Let's just use that for the so-called Black American. And everywhere we go, the immigrants go. So
correct.
Being that they getting first dibs on everything, that's not good for us. We in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna keep it real simple. And shout out to what's my man name? Ali Bamu too.
Yep.
We are in the fourth quarter. Everywhere we move, the foreigners of every descent, nationality, whatever. I talk nigga talk. Wherever we move, these people are on our ass like white on rice, and the social.
Well, the immigrant have always been enforced and pushed to replace the Negro. Because see, most of the Negroes go to jail. they clear them out, put them in jail.
Absolutely.
And then the old saying back in the 70s, when I was little and couldn't, sit at the table with my grandparents when they have the folk talk is, oh, they bringing in new niggas. That's what it always was. That's what they called it. So they was always, the immigrant was always put here to replace the Negro to do cheap labor.
Right. I just need you to do this. Listen, can I get that thunder noise that you be making, please?
Okay. Long as you don't
I ain't gonna bomb. I don't do no that. I'm only bringing the information.
He begging to be slapped. Is that what he asking?
I need that thunder noise. Please, can I get the thunder?
Okay. I'm gonna give you the thunder noise. Because I don't know what you're gonna do, but there it is, honey.
You in the fourth quarter, so-called Black Americans. You in the fourth quarter. Stop forgetting that the so-called people that run the government ain't foreigners or immigrants or refugees. These people be coming up with words, and then they're giving them definitions.
Well, let me say one thing, though. They are foreigners. It's not a government. It's a corporate criminal enterprise. You can call it whatever you want to.
Indeed. Listen.
It is not government. It is trade and commerce.
Hey, listen, Ali Bamu. I'm nigga. I'm on the corner right now, bro. I speak nigga. Remember.
Now, are you a street pharmacist? Since you're standing on the corner.
I'll say this. I don't have a high school diploma. Okay. I wasn't, I was too advanced for a high school diploma. This shit never made sense to me. 1 + 2 - X + Y + Z. I was already outside.
Right.
But
okay, I'm feeling you on what you're saying, and again, I don't want you to out yourself, and I'm not trying to say this.
No.
To cast aspersion. I'm saying, just hear me out for a second. Just hear me out.
Right.
Those who are on the street corner, the so-called street pharmacists that are conducting trade and commerce, that are at the expense of the communities referred to as Negro, colored, and Black.
Right.
This is a part of the incarceration process. But before I forget, hold on a second. Hold on, young brother. Hold on. Before I forget, Bethy, there was an interesting part of that video, and I found it amusing. Why did she decide to compare Finland, Germany, and the United States? And I'm not asking for the answer. It's a rhetorical question. But the amusing thing is to show that Finnish crime rates went down, Germans leveled out, and ours skyrocketed because people keep dismissing that everyone is agreeing to get the nigga.
Absolutely.
That's where the lockup comes from. But go ahead, young blood.
And check me out. Let me just build on this, right? And Miss Sister Bethy, I might need your assistance with this. When I was coming up, right? I was able to buy my girlfriend things at 13, 14, 15, and 16 years old. Valentine's Day was something when I came up. It just showed your masculine, being that, you're a young boy going into your pre-teens or whatnot. We had different little hustles. We bagged up things, cut grass. Some of us sold narcotics, right? Mm-hmm. I'm here to let you guys know none of that is available for the 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-old boy. The so-called Black American boy on the corner, he has to start working at like 13 or 14 years old. He's too advanced. He cannot wait to know 18 to start working legally.
Yeah.
All the job papers, he cannot do it. He's too advanced.
Correct.
Listen, if you are the wisest of the wisest and you taught the earth literacy, what does that say to every other foreigner that get over here? If you are 5%, they got to be half. How do you break down 1% amongst multiple nations?
Right.
has to be understood. The so-called, like I tell parents, the so-called Black American, we know who we talking about. The nigga that be on the corner every morning. His children, definitely the boys, he has to start building shit, excuse my language, at 11 and 12 years old. We got to make it desirable for them. Popsicles. He got to start building things. Correct. You know, he has to start. He got to understand you're going to work at 13 or 14. Because when I talk to my elders, you know, or your generation, not your generation, but your mother and everybody else, I really don't like the X-gen, all that type of, I don't want to get into that. But, you know, my oldest elder is 93 right now. When they was 13, 14 years old, they was considered adults.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the Black American. We was, I don't mean to be loud. We was more advanced. We start earlier. Everybody baby don't start walking at 7 months. We start walking at like 4 months. I'm being, you know, hypothetically, but compared to everybody else, we just, you know, I don't want to go on the rant. I'm just going to let these niggas know, put your sons, because I'm not a female. You hear me, Miss Betty? I'm not a female. Right. So I'm dealing with the so-called Black American Indian. He needs play tools and props put in front of him at 13, 14, and 15 years old. All that sports shit, y'all gonna have to cut that shit out. Excuse my language. No sports. It's over for that shit. Right. All this football shit. What is listen, what did so-called Malcolm X tell y'all about celebrities? Even if he wasn't real. Right. They are no good. They are using them at a certain advantage. Yeah. But that's it. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. But y'all enjoy y'all day. Shout out to Ali.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Shout out to the ops. You know, what's up to the enemies? And stop teaching your babies to be racism. Stop teaching your babies racism. Prejudice is not illegal.
Facts. That is a fact.
Well, let me suggest your build title to respond to his request of you, Queen Mother.
Okay.
The Indian Removal Act of 1830 to the Urban Renewal of 2030. How about that? Because urban renewal is Indian removal. But now, circling back to what his intent and his outrage is legitimate. And I feel you, young blood. I'm not dismissing or discouraging you from feeling what you feel. But again, feelings, emotions, and things of that nature, it's not going to address taking the action necessary. You have to be sober. You have to be calm. You have to be focused. And you have to be committed. Now, I don't mean the way they're committing you, because they're committing you to jail, they're committing you to insane asylums, they're committing you to rehab centers, because they have brought the drugs into your community, knowing the condition they had designed for the Negro. Again, the American has been turned into the Negro. It's not that we're being called something. It's not that we're being labeled something. The Negro is a thing. It is a concoction. It is a creation. It is American made. As a matter of fact, it is the first product of American capitalism. Correct. To turn the American into the Negro by way of perpetual servitude, claiming, as you just heard in that video, chattel slavery attached to Africans. Now, you African, spear chucking, pan goofy motherfuckers, you can choose to be that. That's your choice. But your infected mindset will not be passed to another generation.
That's right.
Will not be tolerated. You shall be quarantined. Now, again, that's just my opinion. I'm not ever going to tell you, Cuddy, Bap, Chief Holiday, Dane. I'm not going to tell any of you how to handle your platform. I'm talking about a policy. You feel me, sis?
Yep.
You can implement it how you choose. It's, you know, it's your program. And I thank you for allowing me to be a guest here. But this cannot be in dispute. We are at war. We are the only target. Correct. Not this black shit. That's used as diversion. Kamami Harris is political blackface. Even the orange Julius Caesar, he's a white nigga with an afro. Fucked up afro, but skin. Still, all of these people are foreigners. I don't give a damn who, I don't give a damn from where. But they all agree, and they are all on code to get the nigga. Now, that was the Indian Removal Act passed in Congress, and the urban renewal, which is ongoing for immigrants, migrants, invasions.
Facts.
That's all this is. I don't know why people seem to have a hard time comprehending, which should be simple.
They don't comprehend it. And it's, as a people, we should really be fighting our governments, because this is crazy. You're bringing immigrants in and giving them our earned tax dollars.
But it's their cousins, sister.
You're
it's
not going to
their relatives.
say the majority of Negroes don't work. That's bullshit.
Well, that is bullshit. First of all, they already know 80-90%
so you're
of
giving
the American
our tax dollars, and they have not put one day of work in, but yet they can lay out on the streets and homeless places and be handed EBT card. Those are our federal tax dollars. This company should be charged. The Congress should be charged with treason, because you're doing this to the people. You're doing it to the people.
Well, hold on, my sister. You're doing it to the American.
Well,
everyone else is a United States citizen.
Facts.
And they are in collusion through policies, through taxation, which we should not be taxed. We should not be displaced off of our own land. It's one thing for especially the dimwits in the chat that keep saying, you're not talking solution, you're not talking. Everything I speak on is solution. When you get your mind right, you'll know how to behave accordingly. You will solve your personal problem. I'm not here to solve your problem. You can't solve mine. I'm not here to tell you what your life is. You can't live mine. I don't give a damn what's on your plate. I eat what I eat. But we continue to listen to foreign people with whatever foreign agenda, including Pan-Africanism, to tell the American what he or she is.
Facts.
That ends today.
Yep.
And all I was sharing with that video was how it's being ingrained in law. But it is not lawful. Everything that she shared, all the things that she discussed in that video was code, statutes, and regulations.
Yep.
You notice she didn't really go into the Constitution.
No, of course. Oh, no. Oh, definitely not. Not into the Constitution.
So these groups of foreigners got together and agreed, we're going to get these Negroes that we encountered here. We're going to steal their land and kill them if we can. If we can't, we'll steal their mind, kill the Indian, save the man. We will take their consciousness, believe that the womb of their women produces and manufactures perpetual slaves, and then tell those children you came from Africa. Like you slave catchers in the 21st century, and I'm not going to name you because you're not worth the time or attention. But for the idiots in the chat and in this community that are ops, as that young brother said, agents, provocateurs, collaborators, sellouts, coons, buffoons, whatever works for you, the fact that you have a problem with it, hit dogs will holler.
Facts.
But you ain't got nowhere else to go but to attach yourself to the American, you fucking parasite. I'm sorry, my sister. I know you're ready to go.
Well, that just goes back to the other bill the other day, or what we're trying to get Congress to understand, but they already know this. All skin folk and kinfolk. Everybody jumping up here trying to find a solution from other races. I mean, you're a coward when you come up here and you can't show your face. First of all, that's a red flag. Who are you? Who sent you? Can you truly identify yourself? Why are you lying? Tell the truth. And when you can't turn your camera on, You're not even being real to yourself. How important are you that you can't turn your camera on? Are you really for my people, or are you a joke sent by them? And that's a fact. I don't
So
have
if you
time to run
decide to,
around in YouTube to debate people who have agreed to be part of the African continent. That it has
well,
no interest
remember
at all.
the two
I have
categories
nothing.
of
I
citizen
mean,
is the free white person.
we have nothing against Africans, but let's get the record straight right here.
Yeah.
That's their land. I don't have any concern of over there. My concern is over here. And again, I will not allow foreigners who came here in the 1900s to come here and tell me
And dictate.
whose families been
No.
here for thousands and thousands of years and never came here.
Yeah, they're gonna try to dictate.
And you don't have no proof, and you're not going to make up no proof with your millennial born ass. No, you're not going to do that.
In addition, it speaks for itself. The shit is raggedy. Your shit is raggedy, and you ran from it.
Right.
What other explanation do you have? You ran from there. You over here talking shit to me. Take your ass home.
Ali, we all know what Alabama looks like. I know what Alabama looks like every day. So showing it to Africans, it doesn't matter on YK. We know who Alabama look like.
In addition to a person such as himself.
This is my show, and I know what you look like. So
since he wants to be a 21st century slave catcher, since he brought himself to the conversation, the point that is paramount is you are over here in America fucking with Americans.
There you go.
You got a problem. I don't have a problem. You are not going to be my problem for very long. And as Orange Julius Caesar is saying, whether you believe it or not, mass deportations will commence. And I yield, my sister. I know you're probably ready to go handle your bids. One last reminder, the Indian Removal Act to the urban renewal of 2030. Because that's what's in play. You've heard the 2030 agenda, I'm sure.
No, I haven't even been catching up to it. I've been so...
Yeah, they have 2030. You have Agenda 21. You got the Project 2025. And you got what Yang Gang said when he started his presidential campaign. They intend for the Negro to have zero wealth in 2053. That's what foreigners have stated. You fools. That you shall be nothing, you shall have nothing of your own shit in 2053. Indian Removal Act 1830, Urban Renewal of 2030. You got it, sister.
And on that note, I guess other people are going live and I'm going to eat dinner. I don't need to be on here for 5 hours today, but I wanted to really get the message out today. Okay, you guys, I love you guys. I'm just very busy right now doing a lot of work. And it's pertain to our tribal life. So I love all of you. YK, you need to be happy that you're privileged to be in here. I don't waste my time with little boys. You got to go head on now. Go ahead on. Go on over the BAP channel. Okay? Go on over the BAP channel. This is the channel of education, not the channel of debate. This is the channel that makes moves. All right. BAP does debates. We don't do debates over here. That's BAP's masterpiece. So go ahead on. Shoot. Run away, little African boy. Hey, American listeners. Hey, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. Hey, Chief All-American. Higher Heights. See up in here. Get it vilified. Who else we got? Live and Learn. Hey, Chiapas. How you doing? I really like what Ray dropped because he really told a lot of truth. Hey, girly, he really dropped a lot of truth today. But Verica, so I love y'all. I'm out. I didn't want to be on here long. Smoke will probably be on live later. Word. Hey, our little boy Meta said that, you know, he was he forget that he said he ain't take a bath in 6 years, but he added how he take a bath. For me, I'm gonna use water. I just put this up, say I'm gonna continue to use water, bath bomber, when I take my bath.
And remember, water is the elixir of life. Go inside of you, outside of you, all around you. You take care. Where my sweet song? Where my sweet song? You ain't
I got rid of her.
Come on now. You know that's my song. Now that's the least birthday gift you should give me. My song. Give me my song.
She gone. I don't even have her up here no more because you can only put a certain amount up here. But I am gonna close out. Yeah, you can only put a certain amount up here. So including the sound effects. So I'm gonna get on out of here because I'm hungry and it's time for me to eat. But I love y'all.
Have a good lunch.
And I know Smoke will probably be going live. Love y'all, and I'm out of here.
On the soul train.